Hello everyone, welcome to Res Snapper. My name's MJ and today we're looking at the future of Marvel Snap and every season that we know is coming. We're even going to take a further distant glance towards the future in 2025 and consider what seasons could be coming then as well. I got the information in this video from snap.fan, so a massive shout out to them. And I also want to shout out my friend EK August, who makes incredible graphics. Check him out on Twitter/X. He made an upcoming season's infographic, so go and check that out. Pretty much summarises the information in this video, but let's kick it off. So the stuff that we know is absolutely, definitely coming. This is November. As of time of recording, it's only a couple of weeks out, and it's the War of the Nine Realms season. I'm not going to go through what all of these cards do because we have discussed them at length. You can check out my leaks video, which I posted very recently if you want to see my thoughts and star ratings, but generally I think this is a very good season. The only card that I do want to quickly touch upon is Laufey or Lofi. Let me know in the comments below how it's actually pronounced. I think it's Laufey. Laufey is sort of an additional card for this season, so we don't know how he's going to be available. Actually, we don't 100% certain know that he's coming out in this season. He does fit into the theme of a future season as well, so it's possible he could be then. I think he's probably coming out this season, the War of the Nine Realms, because his art is already out, his power and ability is already leaked. He's sort of like the Jotunheim location. It basically afflicts everyone that he's with at that location with negative power, and he gains it. However, we have been here before. There's several cards which looked like they were going to come out in the season that they were basically leaked the season before, and they were the same theme of that season, but then didn't come out. So we had Tombstone, who was leaked last month in the Spider-Man season, and we've had Lasher leaked this season in the Symbiote season. Neither of these cards have come out yet. I did somewhat speculate that Lasher could potentially be like a surprise present card that comes out on the second dinner 2-year anniversary, and hey guys, I am absolutely coping, but I kind of hope that happens. But this is a selection of cards that we don't know how we're getting them, and they do fit into these seasons. So again, more speculation. Maybe that snap packs thing that leaked. If you don't know about that, you can check our separate video on that. Maybe these could be in that as like a celebration of the previous seasons. It's possible, but yeah, Lofi, we don't 100% know. Maybe he'll come. Anyway, let's move on to the December season, which is Marvel Rivals. So this is leaked to be a tie-in with the Marvel Rivals game, which I believe is also coming out that month. I think they're both NetEase games. Is it NetEase? I think that's the name of the overarching company that owns Marvel Snap and Marvel Rivals. So yeah, nice little bit of cross promotion. And actually, this thumbnail that I made, I just wanted to make a really striking thumbnail. This Bruce Banner Hulk is a bit misleading because actually the cards we're getting this season, according to the name leaks, so we only have the leaks of the names, we don't know the cards' abilities. But we're getting a Bruce Banner card, and then separately to that, a Banner Hulk card. So could Banner Hulk be like a token that is somehow generated from Bruce Banner? Maybe it's something like when Bruce Banner is destroyed, it creates Banner Hulk or something. We don't yet know. Going to be very interesting to see. We also don't know which card is the Season Pass card. Very interesting stuff, guys. We're also getting Doctor Doom 2099, and there's a separate card, Doombot 2099, like a sort of token style card, which has also been leaked. So this again is very interesting. Obviously Doctor Doom is already in the game and he creates 2 Doombots, so is Doctor Doom 2099 going to do something similar? But then you'd think that's kind of boring. Is there going to be an interesting twist on it? I hope so. And then we've also got Galacta, who is the daughter of Galactus. I know virtually nothing about her, but I think she is a good guy. I don't know what her powers are. Again, let me know in the comments below if you do. Then the other half of the cards in the Rivals season is Lunar Snow. Now, I've put the ice token underneath her because one of the things that leaked is that there is an ice token. So Lunar Snow has got snow-based powers, so it makes sense that this ice token, which leaked at the same time as her name, it makes sense that that has something to do with her. And I am sure, an ice token, that's quite a generic name. I'm sure that's something that they would just reuse. I think locations could probably generate ice tokens. I'm sure there'll be characters in future that will generate ice tokens. So I would assume that an ice token is like a generic token that has some sort of generic effect. Now, we've seen ice in Marvel Snap have a couple of different powers. We have seen both via Iceman and the Ice Box that it increases the cost of a card in your hand. So it could do something like that, like every turn the ice is there, it does that. Or we've also seen with cards like Luffy, and Jotunheim, which are ice-like things, the negative affliction. So I think ice, I personally think it's going to melt. I reckon it's going to be like, maybe it'll be like flavor text at the end of the turn, melt/destroy. So I think it'll be a temporary thing. Maybe it'll be like a clog style thing. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to hear. What are your thoughts? We're also getting Rocket and Groot. This is probably the most controversial card here. I know that there's lots of people who are saying that they want new characters to the game. They don't want characters that we've already got. Now, for me personally, I'm a massive trading card game in my life. In fact, I mean, like, just like right here, I've got trading cards up the wazoo in front of me. And I've probably got, in fact, let me find an example. So I've got man like Charizard there, man like Mewtwo. Here we go, man like Mewtwo. I'm sure I've got a couple of Mewtwo's in here. Yeah, guys. In pretty much every card game, you have got cards, multiple cards for the same character. They have different abilities. You know, these are popular characters, and the producers of these games want to remarket those characters and capitalize on the popularity of those characters. And I think that's really cool. I think that's awesome. Even coming from Hearthstone, Ragnaros, an iconic character, got multiple versions. So I personally am totally buzzed that we're getting a new duplicated Rocket and Groot card. Of course, this isn't quite the same as the old versions. The old versions, I mean, Groot is bad. Rocket is good, generally good in bounce. But there's an opportunity to make a much more exciting card with the combination of both of them. So I am absolutely buzzed to see this. And then the other card is Penny Parker, who massive fan of Into the Spider-Verse and that character in general, so I'm very excited for that. But let's move on to the next season. January is the Dark Avengers season. This makes me extremely excited because I did read this back in the day. I don't remember everything about it, as you'll see when we discuss some of the characters, but this era of Marvel was when I was probably reading the most Marvel. I was reading lots of titles, and this storyline is incredible. Like, they basically took Norman Osborn, who was strictly a Spider-Man villain, and they built him up to be this massive overarching villain of the whole Marvel universe, and it was incredible. So if you've seen Iron Man 3, you may have an idea of who Iron Patriot is and what that character is, and actually, the comics version is completely different. This is Norman Osborn, who basically took control of S.H.I.E.L.D., and by way of doing that, also took control of Tony Stark's Iron Man armor. So basically, this is Norman Osborn having stolen an Iron Man armor. It's incredible. I'd be surprised if he's not the season pass card. And what he did over the course of all of this, so basically it started off, this is like comic history talk now, it started off and he gained control of the Thunderbolts, which used to be, essentially was set up by like Baron Zemo and was some reformed villains. So the Thunderbolts did start off as heroes. In the era that Norman Osborn took them over, they were more like a Black Ops kind of team, like doing off-the-book stuff. And so Norman Osborn took them over, and then gradually, as he sort of gained more control over the Marvel Universe, he basically started like tweaking the Thunderbolts to his own measures and to his own benefits. And essentially that led into him creating his own version of the Avengers called the Dark Avengers. And they were basically bad, evil versions of the Avengers, but they were posing as good guys to the press and stuff. It was excellent. So within the Dark Avengers, you also had Moonstone, who, as you'll see on this image, I've kind of got Captain Marvel in the background here, or Ms. Marvel in the background here. She was kind of like the proxy Ms. Marvel character. Victoria Hand, who was like a sort of sketchy behind the scenes, I can't remember if she was basically like second in command to Norman, trying to manipulate Norman himself and stuff. Really cool character. Toxie Doxie, I actually don't remember Toxie Doxie from this run, but from what I can see, she was like the Scarlet Witch proxy. You had Ares. Around this time was the Siege storyline, so you may have seen the very incredible artwork. Spoilers here, but Ares rips Sentry in two. Absolute madness. No, wait. I'm getting absolutely, this is embarrassing now. Sentry rips Ares in two. Imagine getting that confused. And Bullseye, who was like the proxy Hawkeye, and then Gorgon, who was a character I remember little from this run as well. I basically have little idea what any of these characters can do. The only card that we actually have seen an image of in Snap is Bullseye. I expect the artwork will probably change. This is a similar situation to Silver Sable. Silver Sable was in the data for a very long time, and then her artwork eventually changed. I think Bullseye's art will probably change here, and the ability as well. At the moment, he like draws a 2-cost card or something. Then let's move on to the February season. This is a tie-in with the Captain America Brave New World movie that's coming out, and we've got more duplicated characters where we're getting characters that we've already got but different abilities. Well, they must have different abilities obviously, but one of the cards is Thaddeus Ross, aka General Ross, and also a Ross Red Hulk token. So is this going to be a similar situation to the Bruce Banner and the Hulk thing? Is something going to change Thunderbolt Ross into the Red Hulk? Is it going to be the same Red Hulk that we've already got in the game? As we spoke about in the rival season, maybe that token? Is that going to be similar to the Red Hulk we got? I'm not sure, because this has actually got a brand new card name of Ross Red Hulk. So I would presume the ability will be different. Similar to how Symbiote Spider-Man ability is different from the Spider-Man card. Same character, different ability. I don't know. It's interesting. But we're also getting Sam Wilson and Captain America's shield. How many times have people speculated that they want to see Captain America's shield in the game? So I'm really happy we're getting this. I can't quite imagine what Captain America's shield would do. Whether like Sam Wilson will fling the shield into your hand and then you can play the shield, or it could be something like Sam Wilson summons the shield when you play him. I think the shield could be like a 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, something like that, and it's like ongoing, can't be destroyed, and cards at this location can't be destroyed. I could definitely see something like that, especially with the ongoing element of it, which would support the Captain America that we've already got. That is, if Captain America doesn't get changed before this season, which I kind of think is possible. And maybe you could have two different characters which each produce a Captain America shield, and especially if in this artwork Sam has got a different style shield to Steve Rogers. If they do even go to that level of detail, that'd be sick. But hey, we're truly into wishful thinking territory now. The other cards this season include Whacking Taurus, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, and a Red Wing token. Now, I actually originally speculated that Red Wing, like, I wouldn't be too surprised if Sam Wilson actually creates both the shield and Red Wing. I think that's possible, and like is kind of like a new sort of Hawkeye style card, creating you lots of resource, because Red Wing, I mean, that is the robot sort of bird on Sam Wilson's back in the MCU, which is what I expect they'll adapt. It is possible that they go down the comic route and it's an actual... Is Red Wing an eagle? Something like that. Red Eagle, probably. I don't know. So, yeah, it's vaguely possible, but yeah, I think equally as likely as Red Wing is maybe something to do with Whacking Taurus, who is the new Falcon. And then we've also got a couple of Serpent Society members as well, so Cobra and Diamondback. So this is pretty cool, and something that we'll talk about in a minute as well. There's also an additional card in the data, Batroc, aka Batroc the Leaper. Possibly this could be... this was like the most recently added leaked card to the data, so maybe this could be like a Deadpool's Diner reward, possibly. Something like that. And then we move on to March. This is the last date that we've got actual data for, but we'll speculate about the future in a minute. So March brings us the Avengers 1 million BC. This is a storyline that I actually read fairly recently. This is like Jason Aaron's storyline. It's basically about... the concept is there's always been the Avengers. It's just back 1 million years ago ish, whenever it was, I mean, it's called 1 million BC. I don't know if it's called like... it's basically just like in the olden days, okay? And it basically says there were Avengers then. They may not have been called that, but it had like Starbrand, who on this image here is like this woman, but basically Starbrand is like a mystical cosmic force. And back in this original storyline, it takes the form of like a character that basically looks like Hulk. You got Firehair, which I think is like... I think that's Phoenix. I don't remember her being called Firehair in the comic, even though I read it like literally less than a year ago. But I think this is like Thor's spoilers by the way, Thor's actual real mother, who is kind of the Phoenix Force embodied. You've got Agamotto. This is the actual guy, you know, from Doctor Strange's Time Stone holder thing. This is the guy. You got Khonshu, the god of Moon Knightness, and I have put Eson here, or Esson. This is a Celestial whose name has shown up in the data. Now, Esson has nothing to do with the storyline. However, if not here, I don't know when Esson would be. Like, it kind of, as a Celestial, it kind of makes sense that he's in the oldie-woldy star set. And they've also got Mephisto here. Mephisto showed up in the data a long time ago. I'd be stunned if he's not in this season, though, because he's basically the main villain of this storyline. And that's it. Let's look at the future. So this is the stuff that is 100% speculation. We've got almost nothing backing up. Well, we've got very little evidence backing this up. April, I don't know what it could be, to be honest, guys. May, I mean, every single Marvel Cinematic Universe film that has come out has had a corresponding season in Marvel Snap. I think that will happen every single time there is an MCU movie, and so I am basically 100% certain that May will be a Thunderbolts season. Now, because they basically already did a Thunderbolts season, and they used all of the characters that are in the film, and I should actually explain, because Thunderbolts was delayed, I think that Second Dinner thought that Thunderbolts was coming out at that time, so created all the cards, and basically it was too late to change their plans when they realised it was delayed. I think they've said that they work on these seasons like 9 months in advance or something like that. And whilst Thunderbolts was delayed more than 9 months ago, I do still think that just from a marketing perspective, they will want to do a Thunderbolts tie-in season. Now, because we've already got all of the characters, who we may receive in that season is a little bit up in the air. I've written down here that we might get White Wolf or some sort of new Bucky Barnes as I think the de facto leader of that team. I am very confident that he will get a new card. Which moniker they'll use for him, I don't know. However, we've also seen them sort of mixing in some comic storylines with the movie stuff. And so the fact that every single other card who is in that film we already have in Snap, and there's only so much you can do with these characters, I actually think they'll do like a mixture of maybe some film stuff with White Wolf or Bucky Barnes, and then some classic Thunderbolts characters. So I've got Citizen V, Atlas, Radioactive Man, and Songbird. That is like some of the ones I would choose. Fine. June, don't know. July will almost 100% certainly be Fantastic Four, and I've proposed maybe we'll see our first entire team card and we'll get the Fantastic Four. The reason I think this is because the Fantastic Four are so disparate, and that, you know, you've got Thing, who is a no power card, you've got Invisible Woman, who's like an ongoing / combo support, you've got Human Torch, which is firmly a move card, and Mr. Fantastic, who's, I guess, ongoing as well. They're completely disparate. They don't work well together. They will want to find a way to celebrate the Fantastic Four and have them work together. I am also so confident on that. So either a card where they're all in it, literally a Fantastic Four card, or if not that, I think it's totally within question that we could get maybe something like the Fantastica, which is maybe a similar card to High Evolutionary, and it grants the Fantastic Four different abilities when you have it in that deck. I think that's a super possibility as well. Other characters that we might get is Herbie, the robot, Valeria and Franklin, their children, and maybe like a villain like Mole Man, because we've got most of the other characters in the game already. And then skipping ahead to November. Now, this was the original release date of Blade. Blade is not coming out in November. Typically, MCU films need at least 9 to 12 months of post-production, or certainly after having filmed, they need like 9 to 12 months of marketing and doing the special effects and all that sort of thing. And Blade isn't even anywhere close to filming yet, so I don't think that's going to happen. I think a season is maybe still possible. Again, like if Second Dinner do a lot of planning in advance, maybe they are planning like a vampire season. It's around Halloween anyway, and they haven't done much vampire stuff. So yeah, I think that would still be cool. I mean, I've written a few names down here, but my knowledge of Blade is pretty rusty. I basically don't know who could possibly be in it. But that's what I think. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below of the upcoming seasons of Marvel Snap, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.